So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the third series of this webinar, Archicad Now. Today we're going through the second episode. So you guys are already used to see me and James here. So I'm the business development for GRAPHISOFT Singapore and Malaysia. James, a BIM consultant for GRAPHISOFT Singapore and Malaysia. So you guys might get used to seeing us around here. In this series of episodes, we already had, in this webinar series on series 3, we already had the first episode where James presented 3D styles with some tips and tricks on how we can use these methods or this Archicad visualization to achieve, some interesting representation for our files. I would say a lot of these creative ways to find how the software works should really come from the need that you have to represent your project better or with more detail. So I think this is a very informative session. Today this will be an introduction to Archicad and Twinmotion workflow. So for those who are Archicad clients and have version 23 and onwards, you're entitled to a free version of Twinmotion. So this will show you how you can connect both of them. Next week we'll have a customized Archicad work environment session. So basically, for different purposes, we can optimize our work environment. So the icons and the arrangement of the toolbars for us to work with. And on the 1st of September, we'll have user experience sharing. So an update and a message from Kihua, from Ezra. So Ezra Architects has been a very powerful user of Archicad for the last few years, probably I think more than 10 now. And they always have very creative projects and very creative ways of using the tools. So I think that's, again, Kihua will amaze us with the results of their work. So last season we had a very interesting episode with Koi Architects showing how they use our technology at their projects and technology in general. And they've been awarded just recently another award for their amazing design. So this farmstay in Indonesia has been granted another award. I forgot the name now, sorry guys. You can just Google it, it's quite easy to find. And Kihua, for those who don't know, is the founder and principal architect of Ezra Architects. They have practice in Singapore and in China, I think Guangzhou. And we already have a couple of case studies from them in our website. So you can watch the video where he shows how he was using the tools. I think this video is probably 7 or 8 years old. So I'm sure what he has to give to us now is even more appealing. Now jumping to today's series, we'll go through Archicad and Twinmotion workflow. Basically, this is explaining a little bit on how we connect Archicad to Twinmotion, and then the main features on the Twinmotion side. Obviously, if you want to become professional renderers or know a lot more about rendering, we should really spend more time watching some videos and learning about rendering itself. So there's a lot of concepts in this particular I would say job scope that really requires some investigation so that we take advantage of this kind of technology. So in today's session, if you want to access this solution, you can go to graphisoft.com. And other partner solutions, we have Twinmotion there. So using this live connection, we can use and create realistic real-time renders and animations. And we're even going to see some smart features like object replacing, landscape painting, and sculpting. Now there are more features that Twinmotion has been introducing I would say with each release and with each update. I will mention a couple of them later on. So this is for you to visualize what is the difference. Archicad already has a very strong visualization engine, even while we're navigating in the file. So on the left side, we can see the Archicad scene, and on the right side, we can see the Twinmotion scene, where the same scene is being animated with the textures that are more vivid and with more quality. The sun calculation is better. The quality of the objects, you can see the trees that we have on Archicad and the trees that we have inside Twinmotion are way more realistic. Same thing goes for furniture, for people. So on Archicad side, because we use it to document and as a building to be built, we don't need to go into that level of detail in terms of elements to be visualized. So we don't need to see the stitches and to see all the leaves on a tree. That's kind of irrelevant. But when we're doing a realistic rendering, that is very important. So Twinmotion can handle that quite well. So for all this to work, we also need to have the direct link from Archicad. So you can see that we can just download it from the direct link page or from the plugins page inside on Twinmotion website. So let's see why do we need to use such technology like this.
A new way of visualizing reality is on the rise. Real-time rendering helps you to communicate your ideas faster and create an interactive photorealistic experience in the blink of an eye. View and edit your scene in real time at the same high quality as the final rendering. At the forefront of this transformation is Epic Games, creator of the Unreal Engine, which from now on is the heart of the powerful award-winning real-time visualization tool, Twinmotion. GRAPHISOFT, pioneer in the development of BIM architecture software, has partnered with Epic Games to offer the best visualization technology currently on the market. Archicad Twinmotion Live Connection helps you create breathtaking renderings in real time. Edit the model and make design decisions on the fly. Twinmotion, known for its intuitive icon-driven interface, helps you to tell the story easily. In no time, create images, videos, and explore your models in VR. You can transform your BIM model into a compelling real-time experience with more than 600 PBR materials that react to your environment and bring your scene to life with interactive smart assets from the rich Twinmotion library. If you are new to Twinmotion and the live synchronization to Archicad, check out Twinmotion 2019, downloadable for free until November, and experience the power of the Unreal Engine. The pursuit for enhanced and better real-time graphics will continue with the upcoming version of Twinmotion, which will be free of charge for all qualifying Archicad 23 license holders.
Okay, so basically what happened, you can see from the video, was that until 2020, until the version 2019,
way of visualizing reality.
Sorry, until 2019, this Twinmotion was free until November last year. So whoever got that version of Twinmotion 2019 can have it like forever as a free version. For those who have Archicad 23 and onwards, you're entitled to all the upgrades at least until December 2021, so until end of next year. And this Epic Games, who is the developer of Unreal Engine, you might heard of Epic Games from the gaming industry. So they provide this Unreal Engine, so UE for those who know, for as a platform for the games to run. and they decided to also take a key place or key role in the architectural and building visualization. So that's why Twinmotion is now being developed towards that. Recently, they also acquired a 3D scanning company that will be scanning assets and like trees, objects, so that they become more and more realistic, so that the scenes can be better than all the competitors. What we can see is that in the last 1 year, the changes in the software have been quite significant. So if you sign up for the YouTube channel, there's also some Facebook groups that you can find this information. You can always follow these tutorials. So for example, just recently, 5 days ago and 6 days ago, they explain how the interactive and parametric doors work. So basically, you can select a door and say that if you want the door to be rotating or sliding, how the door works. And you set like a distance. So when you get close to the door will open and you can go in, so that the animations are more realistic. Then we can also use the phasing tool to see, you know, the building being created, or you can show different project versions with it. So I would really advise you to scan this QR code. This will bring you to the Twinmotion YouTube page, or you can just look for Twinmotion under the search bar on YouTube, and you will reach out to this. So actually, this is how I learned most of the things. And without further ado, I will jump to this to Archicad to show you how we connect to Twinmotion. Okay, so what we have here is a building. So some of you might be already familiarized with this file. So if I want to have this building connected to Twinmotion, you can see that I have here on the top bar of my screen, I have installed the Twinmotion, I have installed Archicad, and I have installed a direct link. So using this direct link, we can first of all choose some settings. So how we want this model to be sent to Twinmotion. By default, I like to send it by materials, meaning that any material differentiation that we have inside of Archicad is the one that will go to Twinmotion. And when we get to Twinmotion, it will replace the objects and the materials. So basically, the glass from Archicad will be transformed to Twinmotion glass. And let's say if you have some trees inside Archicad, they will become Twinmotion trees. I'm just gonna highlight to you that for now, in this early releases, the Twinmotion connection with Mac is not very stable, so sometimes it might crash. So besides, constantly saving, you can also open some recovering files. I think this has to do also with the graphics card that now Twinmotion is pretty much based on the. Can you help me with this, James? It's the GPU, right, of the graphics card that matters now for Twinmotion.
Yeah, and I don't know how well it is between AMD versus NVIDIA graphics cards. So maybe it's for NVIDIA, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I think now they're developing more based on NVIDIA, so the results are way better coming from there. So one thing we can do is we can choose to filter the, let's say, the layers that we want to show. So if I want to show some trees, the terrain, the mesh, some other elements, I can just model them or turn them on. Let me see here. So when I turn on everything and optimize my scene, I can just click this to send direct link. I've actually done this before by sending this file to Twinmotion. So you can see the file moved over to Twinmotion. I have the geometry of the elements here. I have the texture. You see immediately the sun or the glass that was placed here was replaced by a different type of glass. The sun is also has to be updated. So to explain you the very basic concept of Twinmotion, we have three main areas where we can get information. So the first one is here on the left side. There's this little arrow. It's quite hard to figure it out or to see it if you don't pay attention to it. So this is where we can search in our library the catalog of vegetation, materials, lights, objects, characters, vehicles, tools, and the user library. Okay, so we'll browse a little bit through this and see how we want this to be shown, how we want our file to be shown. Then we have on the right side another arrow. This one will pretty much show us in terms of layers. Each building material we have here will be shown with a different layer. So each surface will be shown with a different layer. So let's say if I want to turn off the wood or the glass, I can just off the layers here, or the asphalt, for example.
Yeah, and it's not the same layers as in Archicad, it's just the same material or the same surface from Archicad.
Yeah. So I put here, this one is actually paint dark gray. You can see that I can just turn it on and off by choosing to on and off the layer. So basically, without going too much in detail in this one, this is how we can control the phasing on Archicad. So this is the on Twinmotion. So this is how we, on this eye here, this is how we can control like very quick settings. Like, okay, I want change a different time of the day for this perspective. I can choose, you know, the speed that I want the user to move around. I can choose to be at the visualizing the model at the person's location, or I can just do the fly mode, so I can just go up and down by panning very easily. We can choose to view the model from the top. So let's say I want to view the model like this, and then I even want to choose a clipping plane to see what's inside the building. Let's see here. Yeah, so let's say I want to show this on this floor, and let's say even on this floor, when I place furniture, by having it cut like this really allows me to organize. Let's say if I want to place some couch or some furniture outside here, let's say I want to have a bathtub here, I can just position it on the plan view, and then by using this I can choose to rotate it. If I want to go back to the perspective view, I can just click here on the center one and back to the perspective view, and then I can just walk over to that element. Okay, so if I want to move it somehow, I can just use this pointer here. On the curved element, I can rotate it. On each of the axes, I can move to in one direction, another direction, or even upward. Okay. The first time I drag it and place it, we will actually place it on that particular plane. So also if I select this button, it will read the surface that we are placing the element. Okay. Yeah, so it's not a good idea to make a vertical backdrop.
Yeah, I was thinking this.
Okay, so let's assume that we want to have that here. You can also have, let's say, particles. So it allows us to have fire with smoke. So in case you have a fireplace, you want to put that. You can have some water dripping or some shower water. So this is really good for animations, you can imagine. Anything we select here, we can just choose here if we want to scale it. So let's say I want to make this bigger, like a big fire. Well, I think probably on the fire I can change much, but on the object itself I can do that. So I can make it wider, longer, and taller. Okay, so now I have a bigger top. Okay, so you can see this is how we can drag and drop elements here. Let's say I want to place some characters. So to place some characters, I just go here and say, we have such a nice lawn. I'll have a dog here. You can put also a cow outside eating the grass. I see that I have here a pond, so I can just place some fish inside the pond. Obviously, since they should be under the water. And I can see that this water is not very good, like I can't see much. So if I go under materials, I can just choose to use water.
I think it's at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay, so I can choose pool, river. I think there's a pond. No, I'll put the pool. Okay, I put the pool water here. Not much depth. Color wise, I'll make it lighter so we can see the fish. And okay, here we go. We have our fish swimming there. If I'm not happy with this kind of glass I have here, I want, you know, frosted glass or reflective glass, I can just drag and drop. If I want to choose a different kind of wood flooring here, I can just drag and drop again. And if you want to scale it, so this is the third palette. So I've showed you here on the left, we have the library. On the right, we have the layers and some quick navigation here. And here on the bottom is where we have the settings for anything that we're using. So let's say I want this to be a little bit more, a little bit darker. So we can just change here on the palette. If I want to change the scale of it, like I want to make it a little bit bigger, I can just go here by choosing this slider. And you can see there's this option for more, meaning that we can do other things to the scale of this. So let's say I want to rotate it, and let's say I want to rotate 90 degrees. So I want the wood to be this direction. And a funny thing is we can choose to have speed. So meaning that we can give some movement to this texture. Actually, some of them they have it enabled, some don't. It also could be because in my preferences, and this is something I want to show you, I put this into lower settings so it doesn't show this type of settings on it. Okay, so let's say I'm good with these textures here, with these materials. I want to change the asphalt, so I can go to the ground surfaces, man-made, and I can choose to drag and drop an asphalt here. I want to add break cobblestone here, make it bigger. Again, it's very easy for us to just drag and drop or just update it according to what we want. Okay. So in terms of surfaces and in terms of dragging element or objects, this is, I would say, quite simple to grasp the concept. So I can have a ground, and just by dragging and dropping, we can choose, different types of ground to have here. So let's have a better quality grass. Okay, so once we have, the bare minimum of our scene set, one thing I like to do and I advise to do is we go here under this palette and we choose to go under the media and we start saving some presets of images that we want to save. So let's say I will want to have a perspective from this view. Then I will want to have one perspective from further away, let's say from here. So I create another image, another perspective, like if I come from the main road. Okay, how will I see my building if I come from here? So this could be another perspective. And when I have this perspective here, I might even say, okay, I want a perspective plus a video where my first camera view will be looking at it here. And my second camera will be arriving here. Okay, so I can clearly see that my video will be something like me approaching the building. Okay, and if I want to correct somehow this perspective, like when I get to here, I can just click this button to recapture. So now my movement will be something like this. Okay. So let's see what other things or what other tools we can use for this under this bottom media or under this bottom main bar. So one thing I always like to do is the vegetation paint. Whenever we have a big scene like this and we know that we have, let's say, a forest here, I like to come out a bit so I can see what is the area that I want to paint. And then I choose a group of elements that I will place here. So I just drag and drop this tree type. Then I drag and drop another tree type. And let's say I want to have some bushes also. Say I want to place some weeds here. Some long grass. And to make this like more realistic, I even throw in some rocks. 1, 2 here. Okay, so once we have all these, like the group of elements we want to have here, I can just select each one of them and choose the density. So I want it to be like 90%. Then we can choose the age of the tree. So we go under more. So here under the settings, then I can choose the same thing here, less density. For the weeds, I want a little bit more density. The grass, a bit more. The rocks, I want it very little, probably, I don't know, 3% here, 9% or 8% here. And then when I'm happy about this, I can just select all of them and choose this option of vegetation paint. And with a diameter of 10 meters, I'm going to start placing this around this location. So I just click and I add it. you can imagine like how this is a bit resource intensive. And the good thing is after you place this, you feel, okay, we should have a bit more trees here. So we can actually go to the trees you chose and add more density. So if the more I increase this, these trees start to be populated. The more I increase this here, it populates more. And I can see that there's some grass that went to the street here. So I can just choose the vegetation eraser. I lower the diameter here, say to 5 meters, and I just delete it from here. So the closer you go to the scene, the more detail this vegetation will have. So you might need to be closer to the scene to see everything. I put on my machine so it's less resource intensive. If you go here under this burger menu, I go to the quality and I put medium. If I choose high, I can show you guys for a bit. It shows a lot nicer. If I choose, let me see if this won't crash it. What do you think, James? Am I?
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, so guys, if it crashes, see you soon. So we can actually go and have it with even more detail. I won't even move. You can see now the wind is affecting the leaves, so it's moving a little bit. You can see that it shows a lot more grass than it showed before because on the settings that we have here, these preferences are right next to quit, so I was gonna do something really bad. So you can see here, even shows you like low, it shows you like a phone or a tablet, medium a laptop, which is my setup, high is a desktop computer, ultra is really like a power computer. It's just for you to have some idea. So you can see from here that, okay, we have all these elements placed. If we want to move them like one by one, this is not the way how we can do it. And you can see just by going closer to the area you want to navigate, you can see you can start to populate again. Say if I decide that this area doesn't have much vegetation, I can just increase by keep clicking on a certain area. And obviously, if I go back to those images that I prepared before, if I go to this view, now I'm actually visualizing the building from the location that with the settings that we have just added. And if I want to optimize it here, I go under image and recapture. So now this will be the image that I want to use. Okay, so this is one very good way to start, animating and bringing life to our scene. Another thing that I like to use a lot is this paths. So basically we have a main road here and I want to make a vehicle path. Okay, so I'll just go up, choose to view the model from a aerial view so that I can choose where do I see where my path is going. Okay, I choose this perspective. And let's say I'm placing a path here with cars. And I choose this pencil here to draw it. So I'm going to draw a vehicle path that will get here and will turn. So, okay. You right click to finish the path. Okay. And if you want to adjust it, you can just go and click at these yellow dots and adjust it. And now I just wait a bit, and the vehicle path starts to show. You see the cars are starting to show up now. Okay, let me just go back to previous scene. So you can see I use a lot this navigation mode to go to the air or to a perspective view that where I want to see my vehicle path, for example. And if I want to change this the density or the density, I want more cars or less cars, I want to increase the speed, I want more lanes. So this is giving me 2 lanes going in the same direction. Obviously, the more dense you choose this, the more elements it will start to add. Okay. Let's say I want 1 lane and the direction to be on both ways.
Yeah, I don't think you can select the type of cars in this, can you, Marcelo?
Not really. So somebody asked, is it?
No, I was just curious. I don't remember seeing anything about changing them.
No,
like I know with
no.
cool and stuff you can change, but
Yeah, that's probably that will be coming on the way. That's the good thing about
yeah.
all these updates that they're releasing every like 3 months or four months. You'll slowly start having more and more settings. We can also choose to reverse the traffic. You can choose the traffic side. Okay, it doesn't make sense because once you reverse, you're actually choosing the traffic side. Let me reduce the speed. This is making me a bit dizzy. So yeah, pretty much this is it. And I see that if I want to adjust this lane so that the cars go over there, I do this. So I want to make the cars go exactly following the lane. Okay, so this is another, I would say, quite useful setting. We can do the same thing with people. So I'll choose a path. There will be a character path. And again, I want to have people coming from this corner and go here. And then they will just go check the tub and enter the building.
Yeah, maybe the tub needs to be bigger.
Yeah. Okay, so I put the character path. Here we can choose, we have more settings than with the cars, like you were asking, James. So
Yeah.
here I can choose, okay, what type of clothes are they having? So street clothes or more office. Let's say this is an office building. I want people to be, and these guys also to run, not to go to the middle of the street. I don't want to be liable for any maneuver. So we can choose this. We can also choose, they have characters, African, Asian, and Caucasian. So let's say we don't want, to see African or Caucasian. We can just choose the characters. And within the library, it goes and chooses those with those settings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Robbie was just asking about you can replace you can create a path and choose your own objects to animate over it. I think,
if you choose this, there's a custom path. Yeah, that's right. Well mentioned, Robbie. Then I also learned recently another setting that I quite like it, which is it's called I think object replace, something like this. So basically, I have already got from let me see. let's say, okay, I want to go here and see the car park. Let's say I don't want to be placing here on the car park the objects one by one. Okay, so I already have the car park here. And one of the things that we can do is by using this import, I have exported from Archicad a box of cars. So I think I put it here. Okay, car park objects. Once I place them here, you see, basically I even brought this as some geometry like you guys see here.
Mm-hmm.
These are, let me choose another time of the day for this. Okay, let me just save the file in case this crashes.
Yeah, is it worth turning off the cars just in case?
Yeah, so basically now here, I think it's still okay with that.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Now when I select here, and you remember we have this car park object, so I brought it as an FBX, which is the format, the native format for Twinmotion. And basically, you can see from here, I have these objects, right? Oh, actually, I think I need to import it again because I should have
Does it have to be
imported
individual
Yeah.
items?
Exactly. So you saw that when I imported, these came as one object. So here under the options, he has collapsed by material. I don't want that. I want to keep the hierarchy. Okay. So this means that now when I go here to my car park objects, I have all the different objects separately. Okay. And if I select all these cubes, let's say I select the cubes and I say that I want to replace object. And I want to replace, so I could have used this for trees, for rocks, for characters, but I will use this for vehicles. So I go here under cars and I can start choosing some models that I want to use. So I choose these two, for example. Let's say I want this other car. And you can see I click to start replacement, and he has replaced the objects. And you can even see here SUV 01, Sedan 06, SUV 01. And I can do the same also for these ones. I choose replace objects, and let's say now I want this coupe. And okay, let me see if they have wheeled.
Maybe a bulldozer?
Well, maybe.
I think
No,
those are new in the update.
Okay, why not? And then start replacement. So I don't think you would like to have a car parked next to a bulldozer, but here it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, and the good thing is that we can still, move these ones. We can still delete. We can still replace. We can do it whatever changes we want to do to this. So I think this is a very useful tool. The last thing I would like to do is show you how we can animate on a scene, and I choose to do that video here. So we go here under the video, and let's say I want to animate on this scene. So if I go under more, the first image of the scene, the weather is going to be raining, and the trees are going to be small. So quite, okay, not so much, just raining like this. And The location, lighting, camera, everything is okay. So I choose the settings for this part of the video. And when I end the video, it's sunny. And we are here, let's say, and let's say I want to choose a different time of the day. So under here, I think under let me move here again. Let's say I want to update it to here, recapture. Under location, we can also set the time of the day. So this will actually be later. And we can just say that, okay, this will be the setting for this video. So when I have the video here, it starts raining, and towards the end it will clear and will be closer to here, and the shadows that will be produced are totally different. Okay, we can also say, you know, that we don't want to see the vehicle path towards the end. So we can start choosing, okay, this vehicle path won't be visible here. And, you know, it starts rendering with and then ends without. So this is normally how you set up a scene and how you render it. We almost have spent the whole hour on this. Now the last thing is to export these scenes. We just need to go to this last icon here, and we choose that we want to export a video. I select video 1, and just by clicking start export, what it will do is it will export with the settings that we have chosen. So what are the settings that we've chosen? If we select here the video, under settings, we have here under the camera some of the visual effects, the lens, if you want depth of field, all these things. And we can even create a typical type of scene. But when we export it under the video, we can choose the video format, the mode, the resolution. So this one, you'll see there will be a 4K resolution. So even though it's real-time rendering doing here, we still need to export the video that was generated, and we can choose to export the video and then, let's say, some images as well. So I select image 1 and 2, and now when I want to export, I'll choose start exporting, and it will export to the location I chose. It will start export. I put on a folder, export videos and images. And now we will be exporting all this.
And it will be a better quality than what you see on the screen.
Yeah, because for 2 reasons. You saw that before I had this settings to medium, not even to high or super high. And also, like, the resources of my machine will now be tested to export and to generate this. Okay, so obviously the better specs your machine has, in this case a graphics card is what is important. So the more memory the graphics card has, the better. Whereas when you're using Archicad, this is not so key. So yeah, guys, while this is exporting, in the beginning it says 1 hour 35, but it will be, I think, probably around 10 minutes. While this is exporting.
There is one question. So just if the video goes from day to night, when it goes to night, it can turn on the lights?
Yes. So automatically Twinmotion does that. As I said, this is an introduction, so I can't go through all the settings on this. It's more to show you the interface where things are and some of the features, what we can do with this. And I would like to show you now, we have here on my PowerPoint presentation, I have a video that was done by our good friends from Enzyme. that showcases the capabilities of Twinmotion. So this was all rendered in Twinmotion and then assembled outside. Let me see.
Do you know when this was made? Which version?
I think was 2020.1. So it's just a few weeks ago. Well, this is a 2 GB video, so I don't know if it will run well inside of the. Let me try again.
Can you run in QuickTime, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's probably a better idea. Okay, yeah, I think I'll do that. Good suggestion, James. Because it's rendering at the same time as trying to play a 2 GB video inside this. Okay, it's this one. Okay, so I'll show it now. Can you all see, James?
Yep.
Okay, so this was rendered in Twinmotion and then edited in some video editing app. But all the clips, even here, is jumping a bit.
Yeah.
But all the clips were done. All the clips were done in Twinmotion. You can see way better light than what I was doing, way better textures.
Yeah, don't the enzyme guys have Max as well, or maybe
Sorry?
this was done? Don't the enzyme guys have Max as well?
They use Max?
Yeah, they use Mac OS rather than PCs.
Oh yeah. But I think that these things they do it on a Windows machine.
Okay.
They have a dedicated Windows machine for rendering and even for the Rhino Grasshopper things, because Grasshopper is more complete in Mac, in PC, sorry.
Yeah.
But you can see like some of the scenes like I showed. You can see now as a night scene, the lights will turn on. You can see the background is quite good. They populated with a lot of objects, a lot of people, a lot of light fixtures. Obviously, because the model is well done, the renderings turn out quite good. So they have done those kind of patterns with Rhino Grasshopper into the model. So all these things matter in the end, you know. If you have a very basic model without any details, you can expect to have an awesome video about it. Yeah, so this is just an example of what can be achieved. Okay, so now we got to that boring part in our presentation where before we go through the Q&A, you can check how you can follow us on social media. Again, this session will be posted together with other sessions on our YouTube channel, where you can see already the other 2 webinar series, plus a few other events. We just had last week a very successful event with BCA about computational BIM. This will be about 6 hours of video going through Rhino, Grasshopper, Archicad connection, Python inside Archicad, and also Paramo, which is a solution for parametric objects program with nodes and with visual programming. So you can follow this in this YouTube channel and from GRAPHISOFT Singapore. So just look for GRAPHISOFT SG and you will find it. Again, for our clients, you can join our basic trainings, our advanced trainings. You just have to go to graphisoft.com/sg/courses, and you'll be able to find the trainings that are available. So just today we ended this Archicad Advanced documentation. We'll have advanced modeling tomorrow. And in a bit over a week's time, so at the end of next week, we'll have our Experience Archicad 24 event. It will be digital, so it will be held virtually like we're doing now. And here you can see all the latest features about Archicad 24 and the Graphisoft ecosystem. So if you want to sign in, just scan the QR code and you can join us. We will be from 3:30 p.m. till 5 p.m., so only 1.5 hours. We know that there's not much patience to go through a very long online session. We'll have the pleasure of having Catherine Look and Ian Lander presenting how they use our technology in their daily projects, our technology together with others as well. Our Vice President, Bense Kovac from Japan, will be presenting as well, together with all our team. So you know Edmund, Chidam, me, James, and Carlo as well. So this, at the end of this event, we'll have a lucky draw of an iPad Pro. So it's really worth it to sign up and attend it, and you can be the lucky winner of it. So I'd like to thank you all for the session. We can go through the questions now, James.
I pretty much answered the questions, or I interrupted you during the. So.
Okay. So yeah, let me see here on the alert. Let's also check. Meanwhile, okay, it's saying that it's taking 6 minutes to finish exporting. So let's let's just go through the things quickly.
Yeah, if anybody wants to open up their mics or anything, feel free.
Yeah, this is the time. Yeah, so you're asking for the light scene, as you mentioned, James. Yes. Yeah, I think in terms of library, I can see a lot of questions here about the libraries. In terms of library, as I mentioned before, they will be improving a lot because they have one company but now belongs to the group that's just dedicated on this. So I think that they realize that the resources are a very important part of something like this. So of a tool like this. So there's something that definitely Epic Games is going to be investing on. So I see YS is asking, is it possible to include animation video on a TV screen on an advertising board? I'm almost sure that it is.
I think it's a pretty new feature, actually.
Yeah. So again, if you refer to the YouTube channel where they have the new features there, you'll find all that. I know you can even play sounds. So when you walk through an area, you want to hear sounds of people, I don't know, going up and down stairs, of birds. So there's really a lot of resources that we can do to this. Yeah. So basically, it's just a matter of investigating, and your renders will come out as as good as the effort you put on them. It's quite tough to just without understanding and without studying, just going to the tool and make an amazing thing. I showed you here that even without a lot of effort, we can start already to have a very good feedback of the building.
Yeah, and it's still a live model, so if you make changes in Archicad, you can just bring those in.
Oh yeah, actually I didn't show that. So anytime that in Archicad we edit something in terms of geometry, actually now is exporting, so there's not much more I can do at the moment. Anytime we do some change here, because this has the live connection, let's say we place another tree or we delete this this vegetation or from the model here. Let's see, is it gonna go? So I can just select and delete this. I'm selecting this hedge. Okay, so if I want to just send this to Twinmotion, I can just click here on the direct link, and what it will do is it will send all the changes across to Twinmotion. Let me see if this will not ruin.
I would wait for the export to finish.
Yeah. So let's wait for the export to finish, and then we'll see that those changes. So this hedge that we see here will disappear once I synchronize. So you can even have someone in your office doing the animation for the rendering, and if you have someone that continuously is updating the Archicad model for submission drawings, or even finishing some touch-ups on the architecture. Okay, so we have 30 seconds left. Oof. 26, everybody's getting very anxious about it. Well, I don't expect that they're like tremendously good, but it's just for you to have an idea of something done in half an hour or 20 minutes, how it can come out. Okay. So the exporting is done. And meanwhile, you can see that the hedge that was existing here is now gone. If I want to delete another part of it, here on my Archicad model, I can just select it, delete, then update again on the Twinmotion direct link. And you see this weight and the hedge is gone now. Okay, so it's quite simple, I would say, to keep optimizing the model and keep doing changes. Anytime I want to go and change a surface or the weather, is quite simple to just by dragging and dropping or just using the sliders here to edit our scene. And for example, if we got the feedback that the building should be concrete, just drag and drop and export again, and it would have the scenes done. So okay, let me hide Twinmotion and hide Archicad. And let's see now how this turns out. So under the exported videos, I can see here that this is the rendering that was done. So you see it was raining and all of a sudden stops the rain. The cars, well, some of them are still going over the grass. But I would say, the quality for something done so quickly is quite good. And we can also check the images, the still images with all the vegetation. So you can see here that wherever you use the painter, the painter for vegetation, it looks quite nice. And even if you want to have some areas with just the grass further away, it still looks okay. So yeah, pretty much this is it that I had to show you guys today. So if you don't have any further questions, let me see, do we have a separate Twinmotion file for rendering, which connects back with Archicad for each model update, or do all the rendering settings save within the Archicad file? So Marielle, every time that is, I would say, architectural based or the building based changes, I would do on the Archicad file because you want the Archicad file to reflect that. The Twinmotion file, you keep working on it, and you can even work on it with the Archicad shutdown. So you can turn off Archicad, and while you're working on it, you're adding the textures, changing the people that you put in. You add more more views to what you want to come out with. So whatever is towards the visualization part, you do on Twinmotion. whatever is changing the architecture and the design of the building and the site, I would do it in Archicad.
Yeah, but they are the Twinmotion is a separate file.
Yeah, they are separately handled. So if I off Archicad, so I save and quit Archicad, I can still continue to work on my Twinmotion. So this could even be done in two separate computers. I could be working in teamwork. And let's say one person is on teamwork doing the changes on the design. Someone else is just going here on Twinmotion and deciding, okay, I want to do a rendering from here. And I want to, add more views to this scene, to this file, create one more image. I want to go inside the image, change the camera settings. I want to focus bigger vignetting so that it focus more on the center of my view. I can choose to have some lens flare more or less so that the lens is illuminated. We can choose even color gradients if you like the image to have more contrast or less contrast. So I heard the people criticizing, saying that the images are too cold or too warm. So we can just choose here and make the scene exactly how we want it to be, and then we can even change it as or save it as one of our presets so that every time we can use it like that. So Gary's asking, if you have a newer model amended with a different name, can you link the Twinmotion file back to the original Archicad model? Yes, when you sync to Twinmotion, he asks for a new or existing file. Well done, James. Yeah, it's exactly that. So even we have a new version, I can say when connecting to Twinmotion, I want to connect to an older version of the file. Okay, so I think it's time for all of you to go and try it out. I personally like it a lot. I think that it's really like low-hanging fruit. The results that come out are very good compared to the amount of effort that we have to put in, and it's just a matter of exploring. So if you're an Archicad client, it's a no-brainer. It's a free software that normally would set you back a few $1,000s, so 2 to 3. I know that now they have a promotional price, but if you look at competitive solutions, the competition, this is actually very good value for money.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we don't have any further questions, guys, I would end the session for today.
Robbie just asked a new one.
Okay, can you reverse import an object? No. So the things go from Archicad to Twinmotion. They don't go from Twinmotion to Archicad. Sorry about that. I know that in some solutions it works like this. So for example, with Rhino Grasshopper Archicad connection, it works like that, but not here. So thank you very much, guys. Let's wrap up the session then, and looking forward to see you next week.
Yep. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you.